The development of servant statues in ancient Egyptian civilization. Introduction. The ancient Egyptian civilization is renowned for its monumental architecture and elaborate burial practices, which included a fascinating aspect: servant statues. These sculptures were believed to serve their owners in the afterlife, reflecting the social structure and daily life of ancient Egyptians. In this discussion, we will explore the evolution of servant statues, their significance in various periods, and the activities they represent. The Old Kingdom. The Old Kingdom, known as the Age of the Pyramids, was a pivotal era for the development of servant statues. At the beginning of this period, servants were often depicted through carved or painted scenes on the walls of funerary chambers. These images played a crucial role in the burial rituals, providing a visual representation of servants who would assist the deceased in the afterlife. By the end of the 5th dynasty, around 2400 BCE, the introduction of small limestone servant statues marked a significant shift. These statues were typically placed in the serdab, a concealed chamber within the tomb, surrounding the main statue of the tomb owner. This practice began with the tomb of Mrsw Enh, where these figures were crafted to serve their owners in the underworld, reinforcing the belief in an afterlife where such assistance was essential. The First Intermediate Period and the Middle Kingdom. As we move into the First Intermediate Period and Early Middle Kingdom, the design and material of these statues changed. Servant statues transitioned from limestone to wooden forms, which were easier to carve and more accessible. These wooden figures were often placed around the sarcophagus of the deceased, symbolizing their ongoing role in providing services in the afterlife. During this period, the representations of servants became more personalized. The features of the statues reflected the actual appearance of the servants, showcasing their age and physical characteristics. This attention to detail highlights the ancient Egyptians' respect for their servants, recognizing their roles not just as laborers, but as integral parts of their daily lives. The New Kingdom and the Late Period. By the end of the Middle Kingdom, a new type of statue emerged, known as WS3BT. This term is derived from the verb WSB, meaning to answer. Unlike earlier servant statues, WS3BTIAs were not merely representations of servants, but were believed to perform specific duties that began only after death. Their roles included tasks such as irrigating fields and moving sand, emphasizing their function in the afterlife rather than daily life.
It's important to note the distinctions between the servant statues and WS3BT statues. The former were responsible for daily tasks that needed to be continued in the afterlife, such as baking bread, brewing beer, and pottery making. In contrast, the WS3BT statues had more specialized roles related to the agricultural needs of the deceased in the afterlife. Servant statues and daily activities. Servant statues provide valuable insights into the daily activities and social structure of ancient Egyptian society. Several important activities are represented through these statues. Beer-making beer was a staple drink in ancient Egypt, considered essential for both daily life and religious ceremonies. There were many types of beer, from strong dark brews to lighter varieties. The brewing process involved mixing partly baked bread with water to create a mash, which was left to ferment. After fermentation, the mixture was squeezed to extract beer. Statues of female brewers illustrate this process, often showing them kneading dough or straining the mixture. This highlights the significance of beer in social and cultural practices. Pottery-making pottery played a vital role in daily life, providing storage for food and liquids. Ancient Egyptians used both hand techniques and pottery wheels to create their vessels. Statues depicting servants engaged in pottery making often show them seated, shaping clay jars. This aspect of daily life reflects the resourcefulness of the Egyptians in utilizing readily available materials for practical purposes. Bread-making bread was a staple food, and ancient Egyptians produced various types, with wheat bread being favored by the wealthy and barley bread consumed by the poorer classes. The process of bread making included several steps: parching grains in the sun, crushing them in mortars, milling them into fine flour, and then kneading the dough with water. This labor-intensive process was essential for sustaining life. And statues of bakers often depict them in action, waiting for bread to bake, a testament to their important role in society. The importance of servant statues. The significance of servant statues extends beyond their artistic value. They are crucial for understanding ancient Egyptian society. Many scholars argue that these statues are as important as the pyramids themselves. While the pyramids symbolize the wealth and power of the pharaohs, servant statues reveal insights into the lives of those who serve them. Critics often claim that ancient Egyptian art was static, with figures predominantly depicted in seated or standing poses. However, the dynamic representations of servant statues challenge this notion, showing a variety of activities and expressions. This realism in their portrayal reflects the artist's skills and the cultural context in which these statues were created. In contrast to other cultures, such as those in Mesopotamia, where live servants might be buried with their masters, the Egyptians utilized statues to fulfill this role. They believed that these figures could magically provide for their deceased owners, ensuring their needs were met in the afterlife. Conclusion. In conclusion, servant statues from ancient Egypt are invaluable artifacts that provide a window into the civilization's social structure, daily life, and beliefs about the afterlife. From their origins in the Old Kingdom to their evolution in later periods, these statues offer insights into the roles of servants, the importance of daily activities, and the ancient Egyptians' understanding of life after death. As we continue to study these artifacts, we gain a deeper appreciation for the complexity of ancient Egyptian society and its enduring legacy.